Jalen Brunson is making history with the New York Knicks as the Knicks just defeated the Pacers in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. And Dariel and I are here to talk about this all and break it down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris and Dariel. We're back. And let's jump right into it, Dariel. I mean, that was an interesting game of basketball. But more than anything, the Knicks got the win, and Jalen Brunson made history. He is the fourth player in NBA history to have 4 straight 40-point games in the playoffs. He's got a chance to tie or beat Jerry West if he can get 2 or 3 more. I loved the showing from Brunson tonight. I have a lot of thoughts. What did you see?
I mean, from Brunson, throughout this playoff series, he's just continuing to build a case and build a resume as to why he, like I keep saying, might go down as one of, if not the best Knick of all time. Now, he has a lot of headway to make up. He has to get to the NBA Finals, obviously. He has to get to an Eastern Conference Finals, obviously, because in my opinion, Patrick Ewing, in my eyes, is the best Knick I've ever seen. Now, the conversations between Walt Clyde Frazier, Earl Pearl Monroe, Willis Reed, that's way beyond my time. But as far as the best Knick I've ever seen, Patrick Ewing hands down. So Jalen Brunson has a lot to do in order to get in the conversation with Patrick Ewing. So, I mean, Jalen Brunson, he's just doing his thing. He's putting the team on his back, leading us to the promised land. But I kind of want to throw something at you, man, because we did get the win. Great win. Great way to set off the second round of the playoffs. But to be honest with you, I'm worried. And the reason why I'm worried are the bench points. We got annihilated. We have 3 bench points compared to the Indiana Pacers, who have 48, maybe even close to 50. We got absolutely annihilated, and Deuce gave us absolutely nothing in this game. Precious Achiuwa played what? He played 4 minutes. Mitchell Robinson played 12 minutes, and he had 1 bucket, but Mitchell Robinson is not going to help out offensively, obviously. Deuce McBride, I'm really worried, man, because the minutes from the starting 5, DiVincenzo played 43, Brunson played 43, Hartenstein played 36, Josh Hart played the entire game. Let me repeat that. Josh Hart played the entire game. OG played 42 minutes. If this is going to be a 6, or in my eyes, I think it's going to go 7, they're going to wear down. And the Indiana Pacers, yeah, they only have one way of playing, but their way of playing is going to wear down the starting 5. So I'm a little bit worried. I don't know what you saw.
We got the win. Take the win. We just won. We won in Game 1 in a game where they played better. Take the win. No. We're good, dude. Dude, they played better than us this game. I think we both know that.
Facts.
The Knicks are also better at basketball than the Pacers are. Look, what happened was the Knicks are forced into playing the Pacers style. I'm a firm believer in between the fastest team in the NBA and the slowest team in the NBA, which these two teams are.
Facts.
At least for teams that matter and the teams that are left in the playoffs. The Knicks have that slow, grinded out style that's more synonymous with playoff basketball, and the Pacers don't play defense. That's not to say their offense is not one of the most efficient offenses ever. It absolutely is. I think the Knicks are much better than the Pacers. This is one of the best games the Pacers are going to play. I mean, their bench isn't scoring 46 points. And if you saw me weirdly looking at the camera at one point when you were talking about that, I was doing math, and I'm not good at math, so that was rough for me. But look, when you look at this, not only did the Pacers have the best game they could have possibly played, Tyrese Halliburton very clearly struggled against Dante DiVincenzo. I don't think his hamstring's right, so I don't think a long playoff series, again, benefits him after a recent one just happened. Pascal Siakam is in jail when OG Anunoby guards him. And more importantly than anything, when you look at the Pacers and the way that they play, they have nobody who can guard Jalen Brunson in that starting 5. And Rick Carlisle lost them the game. You keep TJ McConnell in that game and take out Nembhard, Pacers win. TJ McConnell is that good of an on-ball defender. He's one of the best on-ball defending point guards in the NBA. There's a reason why he was always at the top of the steals list whenever he gets the minutes and is healthy enough to do so. The man is an elite defender. He's very smart. He's just annoying, and I mean that in the most respectful way. He's just an annoying defender, which is what you want out of a defender who's a point guard. Caruso's the same way. He's annoying.
Facts.
But, the Pacers played a phenomenal game, and the Knicks just said, look, we're going to beat you because you can't guard Jalen Brunson unless TJ McConnell, a man who is unable to play heavy minutes, can guard Brunson the entire time.
Yeah, no, you're right. Indiana Pacers, they did play better. They actually deserved to win this game. We actually kind of got lucky. Because it's like the whole second half, it was like a game of runs. Indiana would make a run, New York would make a run, and then all of a sudden, just the Knicks were able to pull it out towards the end. You're totally right about TJ McConnell. Like, he was getting buckets out there, and he was also playing great defensively. I kind of want to touch on something that you said about Pascal Siakam. You said that he was in jail with OG and Anunoby. There was like maybe a stretch in the game. I'm not sure if it was in the first half or second half. Like, he was kind of cooking OG. I think he had like 3 possessions in a row where he scored on him. And he ended the game with, I think, 19 points. Yeah, 19 points. He was 8 of 16 from the field and 1 of 3 from three-point land. I wonder how many of those points were on OG. But I don't know, man. That's just me. I'm looking at the minutes. I'm looking at the amount of bodies that the Indiana Pacers are just throwing at us. And what are we gonna do about the bench? Because there's gonna be a game where we're gonna need something from somebody on the bench. Who do you think we're gonna have?
I have no idea why Alec Burks is not playing against a team that doesn't guard the 3 ball. It doesn't add up to me. The Pacers do not play the best 3-point defense in the world. Now, don't get me wrong. Their 3-point defense is far and away better than their inside the arc defense. On the season, the Indiana Pacers were last in opponent field goal percentage. And by last, I mean they had the highest opponent field goal percentage in the NBA at 49. Half the shots that other teams were taking within the arc were going in. The reason why the Pacers were able to become 47 and 35 is because in the regular season, not that much defense is played.
True.
You can outscore them 3-2 consistently. That's what the Pacers are going to do. I don't believe that's going to work in the playoffs consistently. The Knicks do need to extend the minutes of Deuce. I don't see why Hartenstein's playing 36. They don't need to play him that much. Mitch came in and played well, and Hartenstein did not have his greatest game. He didn't play badly, but it was not his greatest game. And then, yeah, I don't understand Brunson and DiVincenzo playing what's going to round to 48 minutes over 40. I don't love that.
He's got to do
Josh
it, though.
Hart,
Tibbs has to do it. Like, I get it. I get
he
why
has
he's doing
to,
it.
yeah.
It's just I'm just a little worried going down the stretch. As far as Deuce, yeah, Deuce needs to get more minutes. Today he played 10 minutes, but at the same time, if Deuce is not showing anything to Coach Tibbs, then I understand why Coach Tibbs is not letting him in the game. But I'm kind of talking on more so on Deuce's part. Like, Deuce, you need to produce. Like, we absolutely need you to produce. And it's kind of, I hate to put all this on him because we're not sure if Tibbs is going to use Alec Burks. So as far as right now, we just know that Deuce McBride and Mitchell Robinson, those are the only 2 solidified players coming off the bench. So seeing that they're the only solidified players coming off the bench, Deuce has to produce. It can't be an if. It can't be a maybe. He has to produce. And we got lucky with this game because he gave us absolutely nothing. We got to shout out Josh Hart. Josh Hart is just an absolute demon, bro. He's just a demon on the floor, dog. He is just one of the best, like, hustle players. Did you see that stat in the first round against the 76ers? He averaged, like, 10 points, and he averaged, like, 12 and a half rebounds, bro.
Yeah, he's the first player since Paul Arizin to average 12.3 rebounds or higher as someone who's 6'4" or shorter.
Monster.
Now, when Paul Arizin played in the mid-50s, most power forwards were 6'4".
Plumbers, right.
So it's different. It's way more impressive that Hart's doing it. Part of that comes with the heavy minutes.
Yeah.
I agree. Deuce has to be better. He was good against Philadelphia. The Knicks were the better bench against Philly. Their bench has to be good again. I understand losing Bogdanovich sucks, but when you're going to use Bogdanovich as a pure sharpshooter, if you want to just put it into the simplest of terms, throw Alec Burks out there. I don't see a world in where the Pacers, who are not the greatest defensive unit, or not even a good defensive team, if we're being honest, and have no on-ball defense outside of TJ McConnell and sort of Andrew Nembhard, I don't see why you can't put Burks out there for 8 to 12 minutes a night and say, stand in the corner, rotate up to the wing, rotate back to the corner, go through a little bit if you need to switch sides, and that's it. And just do that. Just backdoor cuts a little bit just so you can switch sides or try to shake your defender. Stay in the corners and on the wing. Catch the ball, shoot it. Don't dribble. Don't do anything else. Don't try to create your own shot. Just try to be a catch and shoot player like what you did in Utah for 8 years and what you did in Sacramento and what you did in Philadelphia and what you did on Golden State. I don't see why he doesn't get those minutes.
Gut feeling, do you think Coach Tibbs is even thinking about it?
I think he's thinking about it, and we're going to see Alec Burks randomly show up in the third quarter of like game 3 for like 8 minutes, and then he's just for some reason not going to play game 4 or 5. And then if there's a game 6, he'll step in for like 2 minutes in like the middle of the second quarter or something. It's going to be something weird because Tibbs is all about like, stay ready. You never know.
So you don't.
I mean, he's always done this. He did this with Frank Ntilikina in the Knicks' first playoff game in 8 years. Man didn't play a second all game. Tie game where the Knicks are up by 1. Trae Young's going to get the ball. They bring in Frank cold off the bench to guard Trae Young. Look, I like Tibbs as a coach. I've turned my thought around on him a lot. But you got to use the bench a teeny bit more. You can play guys over 40 minutes sometimes, especially in close games. The Knicks have not had the luxury of not having close games yet, which has been unfortunate. But I see what you mean. There wasn't the Pacer who played over 40 minutes. There was 4 Knicks who played over 40 minutes. You don't want this series to go long with a run-and-gun team like that who's going deep into their bench. I just think the Knicks are better, though, and I think for the most part the Knicks are going to be able to figure out how to force the Pacers to play their game more than the Pacers are going to keep forcing the Knicks to play theirs because there's more of an art, there's more of a science to slowing the game down than to speeding the game up. You want to speed the game up, you send out a leaker in transition. You know to throw those deep passes when teams don't expect that stuff in the playoffs. You play that fast pace. I want to say 7, but in the Pacers, it's usually 8 seconds or less offense. It hasn't ever worked for a team. The team that knows how to slow down and grind it out almost always wins.
Yeah, no,
Basing it off the fact that they won tonight, I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah, no, you make a really good point. The interesting thing is that the Knicks, they could play fast, and they've shown you that in like many examples tonight. Josh Hart was pushing the pace, so they've shown you that they could keep up with the Pacers. But yeah, they're gonna have to slow it down and grind it out. Shout out to the '90s Knicks, Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley, all those guys. Yo, but we never really got to talk about it. So what's your take on the series? You got Knicks in how many games?
5.
5 games.
I don't think the Pacers are that good. I still don't think they are. I just don't think they're that good. They won against the Bucks because the Bucks were missing their 2 best players. I get Dame was there for some of them, but he's playing on an Achilles. He's in his head, all that stuff. I don't think the Pacers are that good of a team. I don't think they're bad. I think they're going to get a lot better. But this group, how often is Obi Toppin going 2 for 3 from 3 as Knicks fans? I mean, come on. How often is Obi Toppin having a plus-minus that's positive in a losing game? How often is Isaiah Jackson going for these baskets? He just outworked the Knicks tonight. Now the Knicks know he's going to try to do that. You know how to counter that. Is TJ McConnell really going to shoot 16 shots again? If they give him to him, sure. But I don't see him putting up 18 points per game for the series. Ben Shepherd, good shooter. 2 for 4 from 3. I could see that happening again multiple times. They played really well against Nembhard and Naismith because both those guys can hit threes, and neither one of them really did. They played great against Halliburton. The Knicks were losing the game when Obi was in there. Historically, as Knicks fans, we know that's a rarity. Don't hate towards Obi. I love Obi. I'm just saying, factually, as Knicks fans, they're usually better without him.
Yeah, no, I mean, I said Knicks in 7 earlier, but I think I'm going to go 6. And part of me is saying 6 because I just don't want them to go 7 because they're just going to be super worn down. But yeah, I got Knicks in 7. So, I mean, Knicks in 6, sorry. Knicks in 6.
Comment your thoughts down below on this game. Give us your predictions. We threw a poll up on Knicks Digest. Most of you believe it's going to be Knicks in 6. So most of you are in agreement with Dariel. Let me know your thoughts on the whole thing down below. Give me your thoughts on the game. We'll hit you back in the comments. See you next time around. You know what it is. Jalen Brunson for all the MVPs. Taj Gibson for president. Have a great day, guys. Go Knicks. We'll see you later.
Peace.